So next up, we're going to use trig to find the missing side of a triangle. So this would be a sample problem we'll see today, and the directions are find the missing side. And it's always going to tell us which side they want us to find by using some sort of variable. In this case, they've used x. Now what I notice is that they did give me a side, and they also gave me an angle. So based off of this angle, I'm going to label the three sides as the hypotenuse, adjacent, and opposite. So again, the opposite of the right angle is always the hypotenuse. And the opposite side of the angle that they tell you is the opposite side. And again, if you need to use alligator teeth, which side is the triangle eating, or which side is the angle eating, that's the opposite side, which leaves this one to be the adjacent. So what you're going to do is indicate which side do you know and which side are you looking for. We know the opposite, we're looking for the adjacent. Well, think about that SOHCAHTOA that we learned yesterday. SOHCAHTOA. And which one of these uses the opposite and adjacent? Well, it would be opposite, adjacent, the tangent. So come over here and do tangent of 29. Okay, remember that theta from yesterday? That's the angle, and since we know the angle today, I'm going to use 29 equals opposite, 6.7, divided by the adjacent, which we don't know, it's just x. Now you have an equation to solve. What's important to note is that tangent of 29 is just a number that you can plug into your calculator. Now before you do that, my suggestion is to isolate the x. So I see that the x is on the bottom. So to get rid of that, I'm going to multiply. Except whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So now I have x tangent 29 equals 6.7. Now again, tangent 29 is married to itself. You can't separate that out. But I can separate it from the x. If the x is being multiplied by tangent 29, then I can divide to separate it out. Now this I can plug into my calculator, and I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So on my calculator, you're going to want to turn the rotation on, and again I have a Samsung, there we go, so that you can get the sideways view here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in the 6.7 divided by, and then you can just hit tangent of 29, and it's automatically going to plug that in for you. And it looks like the answer is 12. 12.1 it looks like. By the way, you're going to want to be really careful when you read the directions. On Delta Math, for this problem, for example, it says find the length of x to the nearest tenth of a foot, so that's why I rounded to 1 decimal point. I think sometimes it asks you for the nearest foot, so then I would have had to round to just 12, just so you know. Label that as foot. So let's try another example. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is identify the sides. And so across from the right angle is the hypotenuse always. And this time the given angle is up here. So the opposite side would be down here. Again, draw those alligator teeth. Looks like it's eating this side, which makes this one the adjacent. And again, the adjacent is the side that's adjacent to the angle. So this time I know the hypotenuse and I'm looking for the adjacent. So SOHCAHTOA, which one uses adjacent and hypotenuse? It would be the CA. So I want the cosine of 41 equaling adjacent, which is x, over hypotenuse, which is 8.1. So this time, to get x by itself, it looks like I need to multiply by 8.1. And I think that's all I'm going to have to do. A little bit of calculator work and I'm good to go. So again, here comes my calculator. See if you can see that. Focus it. So clear out the old equation, and all I have to do is type in 8.1 times the cosine of 41. And it looks like my answer is 6.1. And then make sure you read directions to know what you actually need to round to there. So if you are on your phone, double check when you're doing these that this rad, see how it says rad there and it doesn't say anything in the top corner? Make sure that that's the case. If you are currently getting an answer of, let me type this in real quick, negative 7.9, it's because your calculator is in radians. So make sure your calculator is in degrees, please. Okay, that's it for this time around. See you tomorrow.